Okay, you'll notice on this pool deck, it's exposed aggregate. Exposed aggregate, very popular, very rough. And there was another company that came in. They tried to do some repairs. I don't know what they used, a chisel, scarifier, who knows. Some of this stuff is a couple inches deep. I mean, you're talking deep, deep, deep. So what we're doing is we're using a compound called Cementol. You can actually get it at Home Depot, a couple other places. It's a really strong industrial grade patcher, essentially. Some people do overlays with them. We really don't recommend that, but it is an incredible patcher and an underlayment. So we're just filling that in. They're dumping it out in these beads and these lines, and we're just going back and forth, smoothing it out. And when we're finished, we'll actually go back and grind that flat. If there's any little ridges, we'll actually grind those flat. So we just want to get it a lot flatter than it is. And it's just this corner here, you notice, where they use some sort of a machine or something, who knows, water jet, something. And there's a few other patches over here. So these guys have a mixing station going on. And you want it fairly runny. So that's about the consistency. When you mix this up, you'll notice he's going fast. Number one, it's heavy. Number two, it sets up extremely fast. So if you're not used to using an underlayment or a compound like this, you want to add a retarder to it and actually slow down that setup time. So see how liquidy it is? See how fluid it is, I should say. So he'll just blend it into that last coat he did. Okay, and he'll kind of feather out that trowel mark, that line in between the two coats. See, if you work quickly, you can get all the different layers to blend, and then when you grind it, it'll grind smooth. And then when we overlay it, you'll never see it. And again, you only need to do this for extremely radical, jacked up situations like this, where somebody tried to do a repair job, or maybe there's just a lot of concrete missing. And we're just filling in what we feel like is a pretty deep spot. We're just doing some quick little patchwork and then feathering it out into the aggregate, into the exposed aggregate. So you can kind of see how deep this is. We're just gonna put some here, fill this in, and call it good. We're just hitting spots like this all over the pool deck now. Because again, it'll make the overlay process a lot quicker. You'll notice a lot less issues on the final coat if you just put a little bit of work. So we got this big chip on the edge of the pool deck. And we're just adding a lot of Cementol to it. This is getting into more basic concrete work here. We need the Cementol to set up more. When you want to fill in holes that are on control joints like this, you want to make sure that you don't bridge this gap, because it will crack when these move. So when you do it, you'll fill it in just on one side, and then when you're done, you'll want to saw cut if it's bridging that gap at all. You see how it's only on one side of the joint? We are shooting on the final texture coat of this pool deck, and again, this pool deck is jacked up. You can still see some of the exposed aggregate. We filled in probably 75% of it. The peaks are still showing, but we want to show you what's really impressive is how much the texture coat actually hides. Look at the aggregate, and then I'll pan up and you'll begin to see the texture coat as it sits across this pool deck. Now it's still starting to dry, but you can see how beautiful that texture is. It just hides everything. Go over here so you can see how he's actually shooting it. Again, rough, deep, pitted texture. It's gonna get loud over by this machine.
Look how good this turned out. 3 coats of sealer down, 2 coats of overlay. Looks phenomenal. And you saw how hacked up this pool deck was. I mean, granted, we got some debris flying off the trees, but man, this turned out amazing. Super simple. You can see how that texture just hides a lot of imperfections. And that's why this is our system. It's super easy to install. And it looks amazing every time. I mean, look at that. Awesome. Completely transformed this whole entire pool deck. So they still got to come back, saw cut all these joints. You want to saw cut all these, open them back up. That way when the concrete moves, expands and contracts, there's a gap there so it's not hitting each other and wanting to chip off. You guys saw how simple that was.
Thanks for watching. Leggari Products is now providing concrete overlay kits that are DIY friendly. These are for indoor or outdoor use. If you would like more information, see the description below or check out our website, www.leggari.com.